name's Liana Morgan, and I'll be walking you through our newest feature of ChannelMix Control Center called Dataset Activation. Dataset Activation was designed with you in mind to have more power at your fingertips to create datasets very quickly, as opposed to submitting a Zendesk ticket and having the data solutions team create that for you. I'll be going through 5 different flows today. The first one will be activating a dataset for an already connected data source. The second flow will be requesting a data set to be activated via the library page itself. The third flow will be activating a data set for a data source not already connected within the library page. Number 4 will be activating a data set from the connect page itself. And then flow number 5 will be adding and backfilling an additional profile to a data set. So let's go ahead and get started. Right here in the library page of ChannelMix Control Center, you'll already notice that when you hover over these empty boxes, you'll see that you have these transparent icons with the flyout that says Activate Dataset with either a ticket indicated here or a lightning bolt. The lightning bolt indicates that you can go ahead and activate that through the Dataset Activation feature. The ticket, unfortunately, means that there are additional configurations needed that the data solutions team will need to do for you. That will just create a Zendesk ticket. To go ahead and create a data set for a data source that's already been connected, we'll go down here to our Sierra brand. I know that my Google Analytics data source has been connected because I already have a data set created right here for Sierra. But let's go ahead and create our GA page data set. You'll simply click on the icon with the lightning bolt, bringing you to the Dataset Activation pop-up. Your data set right here is already pre-selected for you based on the icon that you selected. You can select your profile here. And then your start date and end date. You can type in what your start date wants to be, or you can go ahead and use the calendar feature here to identify the dates that you want to backfill this data set to. Keep in mind the days requested. This says 42 days. The most recent 30 days will be activated first and backfilled first for you. You'll be able to have that information for you within moments to create any sort of visualizations that you want to within your BI tool. The checkbox right here is already pre-selected for you to say notify me by email when dataset activation completes. If you don't want a notification via email, just simply uncheck it. Go over here and click activate. For the second flow that we'll go through today, we'll be going over submitting a Zendesk ticket through the library page for those data sets that can't be automatically turned on through the Dataset Activation feature. If you hover over some of these, you will see that ticket that we talked about before. The main reason why some of these aren't able to be activated through this feature is because we're not connected to an API directly. For example, these Google Sheets, every single one of them, we're connected to that Google Sheet directly, and we're not connected to an API. So that's one of the biggest reasons why you won't be able to create that on the fly right here. But to go ahead and just submit a Zendesk ticket from the library page, you can click right here on this icon, go through the prompt, select your profile, and then instead of activate right here, you'll just see submit Zendesk ticket to activate. Another way that you can submit a Zendesk ticket from the library page to create a Zendesk ticket for you, down here on the bottom right where it says Activate Dataset, that familiar prompt pops up. Nothing's pre-populated because you haven't clicked on any one of those empty boxes, but you can go ahead and select anything within the dataset and profile here. I know that I want to create something for my Sierra brand. And when I click on dataset, all of the data sets that have already been created for me within my library page live here. The ones that are italicized are the ones that are already created for my Sierra brand. And then you'll see here those tickets and lightning bolts as well, which one will submit a Zendesk ticket, which one can be created directly within the Dataset Activation feature. So if you click on either one of those, that'll create the prompt from there. Another way that you can go about submitting a Zendesk ticket from the library page is if you click Other. This basically will allow you to create a data set that hasn't been created for any of your other clients before. If you hit Other and click OK, this is basically creating a Zendesk ticket for the data solutions team to go ahead and create that new data set for you. Let's say that for this Sierra brand of mine, it's an e-commerce client, and none of my other brands in Google Analytics are e-commerce. So I want to go ahead and tell the data solutions team to create that e-commerce data set for me. We are going to be using the Google Analytics connection here. You will notice if a connection needs to be made for this, you do need to go back to the connect page and make that connection there. The data source obviously is Google Analytics for this example. And then any other fields that I want to put in here for that, I can go ahead and just put product, user type, all of that, and I have that right here. So I want campaign, I want user type, I want product. None of these are going to actually be creating the data set automatically for you. Like I said, this really is just putting in all of the information needed within that Zendesk ticket to be sent directly to the data solutions team. This last box right here are any rules or logic that you need to apply to the data set. Maybe there's additional configuration that you want to put into that data set, just to let everybody know within this box. When you're ready to go ahead and send that Zendesk ticket, you can click here in the teal where it says Submit Zendesk Ticket to Activate. Another reason that you could use this instead of just putting together one data set or one data source, this is available for you to select multiple. So instead of Google Analytics, let's say I want to do Google AdWords and Facebook ads data set combined for my Sierra brand, but I also want to bring in a Google Sheet. So I can go up here. I have an example of maybe some traditional media that needs to be combined within this data set as well. I can go ahead and link to that within this, letting the data solutions team know that I want this Google Sheet included in there as well. The names of the fields, they are listed out within that Google Sheet, but I also want to know impressions. I want to make sure that those are being pulled in from Facebook ads or Google AdWords. I want my campaign. I want my report date, stuff like that. And then again, down here, I can describe any rules or logic to apply to this data set. Maybe I want my TV ads to be completely removed from it, but I don't want to remove it from my Google Sheet itself. So I can just write a little note in here that says, remove TV at this time. And then from there, go ahead and select the teal button that says Submit Zendesk Ticket to Activate. The third flow that we'll go through today is activating a data set for a data source not already connected. If we go down here to my November brand, I don't have any data sources or data sets created right now for Google Analytics, but let's go ahead and try to connect. Again, my data set has already been pre-selected, my profile, I'll go ahead and select that. Start date, end date, and again, you'll notice here that instead of activate, it actually says configure and submit. This means that my Google Analytics profile has not been connected within ChannelMix Control Center, but we can go ahead and connect that here. The Google Analytics profile that I have selected here, the connection that I have actually does house all of the information for my November brand, so I can go ahead and connect it here. Or if you need to create a brand new Google Analytics connection, you can go ahead and click Add Connection, which will bring you out to the authorization form for Google Analytics, and you can connect it there. Again, go ahead and create your profile here within Google Analytics. Segment and filter are not needed at this point. They're not required fields. They're just added information that we could have to be pulling into your data set. You can go ahead and click Activate. And the dataset activation has been approved and is being activated for the dates that I had selected. The fourth flow that we will go through today for dataset activation is creating a connection and creating a dataset from the connect page. If you know that you want to create a dataset for, let's say, my Charlie brand in Google Analytics, but I know that I haven't connected a Google Analytics connection yet, I can do everything I just did for that November brand right here in the connect page. So if we go to the connect page, find your data source that you want to connect. Right here is Google Analytics. And then you can drop down the list here. These are all of the profiles that have already been linked for this Google Analytics connection. If your profile does not exist within this Google Analytics connection, you can go ahead and click Add Connection, and that'll take you to the Google Analytics authorization form to add a brand new connection. Or if you know, like, for example, my Charlie brand does reside within this Google Analytics connection, then we can go ahead and do that. So we can select Charlie brand, select my profile from Google Analytics account, select OK. Again, segment and filter are not needed at this time. I can go ahead and hit save if that's where I want to end and just make the connection itself, or I can go ahead and keep going with this button, save and activate dataset, to create a dataset from this connection right here. Again, my profile has already been pre-selected because I'm in the Charlie brand connection, but I do need to select my dataset. Right here, you can see which ones are activatable from the dataset activation feature and which ones need that extra configuration from the data solutions team. I'll go ahead and just create my GA page dataset for Charlie brand through here. All of those fields that will be created for me populate over here on the right, and I can go ahead and click OK. And then hit activate. And then that prompt telling me that for my GA page, it is being activated and backfilled to the date ranges that I had selected. The fifth and final flow that we'll walk through today is back into the library section. Whenever you want to add and backfill an additional profile to a data set, previously you would have to just connect that profile within ChannelMix Control Center and then submit a Zendesk ticket. But now you can do it right here within the library page. If we go to my golf brand, GA session, I can see here that I have one profile connected for my GA session data set with my golf brand. If I want to add an additional profile, I'll click here. Again, the familiar prompt, GA session, I'll connect my profile again. You'll see that that one golf brand profile is italicized, meaning that it's already activated, so I cannot choose that from this prompt, but I can go ahead and choose that second one for golf brand profile too, and then select my date range for when it can be backfilled. And from there, I'll go ahead and click activate. And just like that, my golf brand profile to GA session is being activated and backfilled to those date ranges that I had selected. And that's it for today for dataset activation.